the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so the first thing on the agenda is
Public hearing?
a public hearing, the rezoning of 590 Fifth Avenue. We have the law prepared for that.
Mayor, I apologize. I overlooked the public hearing this evening and needing to have the local law drafted and prepared for adoption tonight, so we would need to authorize it next meeting.
Okay. Are they here? Okay, I think everybody forgot it was tonight, so.
Okay. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do it for next meeting?
Right. Well, we have to make a motion for that, right?
Yes.
I make a motion that we make it for next.
I'll second that.
All right, vote, Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the next item is public comment.
So I was speaking to Rod the other night, Scott Deal, local resident. Question of parking in the village and rights for residents who don't have off-street parking. I've been a resident here 5 years. Had a couple of parking tickets, to which I'm self-employed, have a home office. Not hours there, some days I'm there all day, never leave. In the absence of off-street parking, where can we park, or can we ask that the village provide resident parking tickets? Slips that we can put on our mirrors, stickers or something to identify us. We live here, we have no option but to use a municipal lot.
Right.
Because if I don't move the car, I get tagged. And it's like, hold on a minute. So indirectly, whether it's apparent or not, whether it's intended or not, the appearance is that there's a disincentive to be self-employed. If I have to sit and write reports all day and I don't have to move, why should I go move?
Right.
There's a whole lot more to this, and there's a lot of frustrations, but the reality is, that's the way the appearance is. You don't work for Lockheed, you don't work for any of the companies that you have to get up and go to work every day. Now, there's some days I may work 4 hours, there's other days I may work 16 hours. I take care of my client, period. I don't need to get into what I do. I mean, I'm a technical project manager with a lot of background. But the reality is I like living in the village, but there's no incentive to stay here. I don't think you want people moving out for a simple issue.
All right.
So, Rod's familiar with the details already.
There is a parking item on the agenda. That's not why it's on the agenda, but we can definitely have a discussion there about resident parking. See if there's any ideas.
That's fine. I mean, I don't mind tabling it. It's just something that's been festering, and it came to a head the other day. Rod unfortunately got a little taste of my frustration. I tried to keep it civil, but it's like, come on, really? So, go ahead.
Rusty?
Nice to meet you. Where do you live?
173 front?
In the main block
Yes.
there?
Okay.
Now, I mean, there are rights that tenants have for loading, offloading, and that's fine, it's great, most people respect it. Really, the problem isn't along Front Street. There can be, and I get it that some of the business owners get frustrated if the other residents park on the street because they want it for their customers. Let's get real, some of the business owners are their own worst violators. That's a separate issue, okay? I'm only worried here tonight to bring up the idea, can we identify residents so that the police have an idea there's no alternative? We need to park in the municipal lot.
Okay. That's a fair concern. That's come up a couple of places. Anybody else public comment? Jerry?
Could I provide you with a letter and back?
Yeah, just be careful on my cord.
Start this at this end. This end. So, this is a letter to all of you. I want you all to feel really good about what you did in regard to Mega on March 13th. My points have documentation in the back, and I'm not reading all that to you, but that's the documentation with the second page letter to the editor that will be going out to the Press and Sun. Well, it did go out to the Press and Sun. 14 communities chose to send up more greenhouse gas emissions than NYSEG does, whereas 5 communities, including our village of Owego, chose to send 0 greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere with their choice of default electricity on behalf of communities' health and well-being. I want you to notice the greenhouse gas emissions of the mega selected ESCO on the next page, Constellation New Energy, both in relation to NYSEG's on the following page in the last year for which data is available 2017. Compare this with the renewable energy ESCO Clearview, which my printer got shot and it's tacked onto the back. Look at that very different page and what that looks like emission-wise. I'm guessing Mega did not send an RFP to Clearview, as it does not even have a base fossil nuclear plant, and yet, which was required to have a base plant, and yet their current price, as you see on the next page, is 5.09 kilowatt hours fixed rate for 12 months, which is exactly what the dirty rate for Constellation is. I also want to say that the manner in which you conducted business was exemplary, with Mega giving you very little window of opportunity to meet as a board, to discuss the high impact decision as a board, and to actually vote as a board. You managed to do it anyway. You amaze me. Via documents that I foiled from the village. Thank you, Mr. Marchuka. I was also able to see Attorney Van Wy's appropriate request for Mega to provide its ESCO data on March 4th so that this discussion and vote as a board could occur properly. Thank you. I've added an information sheet on, it's a yellow one, on community solar, which is compatible with ESCOs and yet makes them practically unnecessary because of the the rate that's less than 10% of NYSEG's. Wouldn't you rather have that? I'd be happy to explain that further down the line in a workshop if you'd like to have that. As you consider building codes and your own new building design, it's so important to maximize energy efficiency with insulation and ground or air source heat pumps. Electrifying buildings and homes not only reduces energy consumption, homes and buildings can then be totally renewably powered, heated, and cooled at low cost, sending 0 emissions into the atmosphere, like you just did. I know a team of experts who can provide a workshop for you in this regard. And finally, I want to say that the recent village meetings I've observed, both the board meetings and those regarding the downtown revitalization initiative, have made me proud to live in this village. And that's the first time I've lived here 15 years. I see concern, questioning, and full respectful discussion occurring I haven't experienced here in the past. And I thank you so much for serving our community so well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will say that I just got an email from Mega before the board meeting, and they're talking the first information session on April 30th, which is a Tuesday night. I don't have any other details. I know it's at night, like 6 o'clock or so. Probably be here. Put that in your calendar.
Okay.
Right here.
more than likely, we gotta work out the location and all that. Depends how many people are gonna come.
I think there's a planning board meeting that night.
Okay, and there's a planning board meeting, so probably not here. But we'll find a spot.
Mayor, what was the date on that?
April 30th. And anybody in the public who wasn't at our meeting at Rep Opportunities, we did vote to adopt the mega CCA, which gives us a rate of, I'm sure Jerry knows.
5.42
Right. And it is
cents per kilowatt hour.
we opted for 100% renewable energy because of what it is, and with that you can opt down to the non-renewable energy for a little bit cheaper rate if you want.
Did you find out that rate?
It's the same rate that we got published.
Less than a penny per.
509.
Right. And if we didn't do that, if we opted for the cheaper version, the 100% renewable you could opt up to, but it would have been more expensive than what we got at. So.
Is that generation only, or is that generation and delivery?
It is just generation.
Supply.
Delivery is
Supply
still
only.
nice.
People can still opt out entirely.
Yes, and you can opt out entirely. There'll be a lot of education and an opt-out period, and you can opt out at any point in time, anytime, for no fees, so. And it's all billed through NYSEG, and it's a much better deal than when they come to your door, at least, I think, because I got wrapped up in one of those before. All right, anybody else public comment?
Yeah, I've got a
Sure.
quick for you update on for the Tioga County Fair. The event center we started here before it got frosty. We've started back in there again. We have about a third of the blocks laid in there, so it's starting to take shape. As you know, what we're doing down there, that's roughly 120 by 125 in the center, so we can keep the horse track pristine as we can. So our next stage is to get that backfilled. We've got, they're voting tonight at the meeting I just left to buy the bleachers. So we have committed our 80,000 to the bleachers, around two sides, possibly three sides of that. We're also taking the announcer stand that's there. We're building a deck on the back of that. Sorry, Jeff, forgot to tell you. But there's going to be a deck built off the back of that, and that's going to be for our higher end sponsors. If somebody wants to sponsor the demo derby, give me $2,000. You can take 20 people up there and eat and drink and fall off. It's not my insurance. So that's coming. There will be an 8-foot fence around the whole thing. 10 to 12 feet back from the edge of the track. We want to try and stay at 1 block high, not 2 blocks high. So I would encourage the board members to see what you're getting at 0 cost to the village. All my equipment sits over there currently getting it done. I do like to ask that the village, as this GRI thing goes and they throw you $1 million towards that park, to really consider replacing the not the grandstands under the enclosure, the ones that are in the front.
Those are in the DRI plan.
Now, we were originally going to take those ones to the right that are out on their own and move them. New York State said if you move them, throw them in a dumpster because you cannot reuse them again. They are too bad. Throw them away. So, any questions on that? And we have gone from a small rodeo to a full-fledged rodeo on Tuesday night. All for the $10 to get in the gate.
Nice.
So, it's blooming, and it's blooming tremendously.
Yeah,
We're on track.
fair looks good this year.
It should do well.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Public comment? All right. Well, we got some fun tonight. Call it that. When do we want to do?
Whatever you think.
Do it now? Sorry. So we have to have an attorney-client session quickly, and then we will return.
I would like to make a motion that we have an attorney-client session.
What does that say?
Okay, we need a vote on this. Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. There's enough people here who could have abstained. Alright.
Sorry, folks in the audience.
I got another meeting tomorrow.
Quick. I know it.